All right, everybody, let's do the third layout. It's a 2-page layout. I'm going to start off with that Ballerina ink and a brush or a sponge, whatever you want to use. Now, you're not going to really see a lot of color here because the camera just doesn't pick it up. There definitely is color on this page. You can see just the tiniest bit, but I've been taking a camera class, and the one thing that the photographer who's teaching it told me was that the camera does not see what we see. So in this case, you're going to see barely any pink there, but it does show up in person. So have no fear on that. And you can always make it as dark as you want. So, if you want that to be a really, really strong background, you can make it that way. See, I'm trying to show it to you, but you can see it just doesn't come across on the camera, but it's there. On this particular one, you only need to do about the 3/4 of the page. The bottom, fourth or so, it doesn't need any of the ink or the stamping that I'm doing with the little, what is that, an asterisk? I forget. Yeah, an asterisk or a starburst, whatever you want to call those. So, and then we're going to do page 2 the same way. And again, we're only going to do I only really needed to do the edges. I think I did a little bit more on the top there, but it's just that frame, about an inch around the whole page is where you can put the color and do the stamping there. You're not going to need that much. And I've about figured out about now. And you can see now I'm narrowing my range. But these 2 pages are going to be the final one of the pages that I'm doing. I'm also going to teach you 2 cards. But all of these worked out really well with my niece and 2 nephews who are brothers and sisters. That I did 1 page for each of them, or 1 layout for each of them. So that really worked out nicely, that the colors that they were wearing and everything work well with these colors on this page. So now when I put them in my album, I can put all of these 3 pages, these 3 layouts together, which is going to be awesome. I do theme scrapbooking instead of chronological. So I put my pages where I want to. I don't put them in an order. I feel like when people look at an album, they're not asking what the date is of something, or why is this before that page, or they just like to look at the pictures and the memories. So learned that from Stacy Julian a long time ago. So I just thought, since we did this on the first page, I might as well do a little bit of this Bluebird shimmer brush on these 2 pages, and I just put them wherever I did my stamping there. Just a little bit tapping on the shimmer brush to get some sparkle. It's got a little metallic look in the blue, and it's a nice little look, and it's a good way to use your stash, because we always want to be looking at using our stash. Do what I'm doing here and put in the white paper down yet. I think it's going to be easier for you if you put the strips on that we're going to do next on the white paper first before you add it to the red. So you'll see why in a minute, because I had to trim because the strips were a little long. The other mistake I made on this is that I didn't read the directions very well, and it says to layer these papers. And I kept thinking, why do these look so wide, right? So this, I'm going to catch you right now as we're doing this so that you can do it the right way. You're going to put the first one down. That goes, let me see, what is it? 1 inch. No. I'm on the wrong directions here. So let me make sure I'm looking at the right one. Okay, so that's 1. It actually looks like it's you're going to put it right at flush with the bottom of the white paper. So this is why it's important to put your white paper on the red after. So you're going to put it to the flush with the bottom of the white paper. Now, here's where I made my mistake. I started to just do what I usually do and put the next piece flush with the first piece, right? Wrong. They want you to layer it. Now, why? I have no idea. I guess it's some kind of technique, but since it doesn't really show, I don't think it really matters. But you are supposed to put that second piece down 1 inch from the bottom. Let me see, or yeah, 1.25 inches from the bottom of the whole page, but it's basically 1 inch from the bottom of the white page. And so I started to realize that, and I had to pull that all up because I suddenly read the directions like you're supposed to. So you see me pulling this up, and then I'm going to get my ruler out and actually do it the right way. So it looks like it's 1 inch up from the bottom of the white page. 1 inch up from the bottom of that first strip of paper that you put down. And you're going to actually layer it on there. And again, it seems a little silly, but whatever. I guess that was a technique they wanted to try. So just go straight across. Make sure those edges on both sides are nice and even. And that you're also going along your ruler. And this is where I had a little overlap, which I will fix in a few minutes. So you're going to do the same with the next piece. You're going to go up 1 inch on the confetti paper, and you're going to put in the striped paper. So just start at the bottom of the confetti paper, measure up 1 inch, and then carefully lining it up, making sure it matches with both edges. Put that next paper over it, layering it. Then, of course, we're going to do the same thing with the last one. So you're going to take your ruler, and you're going to go up 1 inch, excuse me, 1 inch on the striped paper, and you're going to put the banner paper next on that. And so why they didn't just, cut them all down to like be 1 inch, I don't know. But I guess it's a technique you can try. So that's just going to go right there. And I'm always checking those edges to make sure that they're straight. And then because, you never are completely accurate on the way that you cut the papers, I realized it went a little bit off on the white. And that's why you don't want to put the white cardstock down until you are done, because then you won't have to peel it off and try to cut it like you're going to see me do here. Halfway off camera. Sorry about that. But I'm just trimming those edges of that paper, those paper strips, because they were too long there. And it's so much easier to do if you haven't already attached it onto the red paper. So now would be your spot where you would go ahead and attach the white paper down to the red paper in the correct order. All right, so I have already put my little pop dots on the 3 photos. I put the photos on the mats. And if you haven't watched my other 2 videos, you'll notice that I used a lot of the pop dots. That's because I'm trying to get rid of them. I have so many of these little tiny ones because I usually use the bigger ones. And so I don't want to waste them or anything, but they're really piling up. So I need to use them. So I just peeled off those little backing sheets and put them all down on these. Now this picture is going to be 3.25 inches down. So that's why I'm just making a little mark there so I know about where it's going to top out at. And then it's going to be 1.5 inches from the left-hand side, and that means all the way to the left where the red paper is. So 1.5 inches, and then leave your ruler there. Make sure everything looks nice and even. Hold it down, and that will really help you put your photo on. And it is a little bit tricky with the pop dots because there's so many of them. But so it takes me a second here to just kind of get it right. So the top is now covering the marks that I made for the 3.25 from the top of the page. So I'm just covering those. So I didn't even have to worry about erasing them. And I did it light anyway. So this is my nephew Avery. And he's the oldest of the 3 kids. He's 11. And then I believe Everett was 9. And Violet just turned 6. They grow up so fast, and with no grandchildren of my own right now, I take a great delight in scrapbooking pictures of my nieces and nephews and great niece and great nephew also. And I do have a lot of them because my family had had a lot of kids. So I've got a bunch, and then my husband's family has a lot of nephews too. So anyway, let's move on to the next picture. And so this is going to be 3/4 inch over from the big photo, and it just lines up nicely on the red and white striped paper. So no measuring really needed for the bottom because you're just going to put it right at the top of that red and pink striped paper. Then the next one is 1/4 inch from the right hand side of the white cardstock, which makes it 1/2 inch from the whole page. on the right-hand side. And then it's a 1/4 inch up from the other photo. So just lay that down there. And then I think it's going to be time to do a little bit of stamping. If you're one of those people that, feels uncomfortable stamping on your page, you can always do this part here on a piece of white cardstock. I'm seasoning it by rubbing it on my hand there. You could always do it on a piece of white cardstock and then just tack it down, and you could even pop it up if you wanted to. We're going to use Sundance ink here on this word birthday. But I don't really have fear over this, because to me, if I stamp it wrong, I then can do the white cardstock, stamp separately and just put it right over the top. So I always try to go for it right directly on the page. So that turned out pretty good. And next, we're going to do the numbers, the number 11. And I already cut it out because there's a great die set with this that has all the birthday numbers on it. And here's another thing where I'm going to recommend that you stamp the little banner that says happy first before you put your number in. I put my number in first, and then I kind of had to readjust it because the word happy needs to fit in that upper left-hand corner. So you might want to stamp that first and then just move everything else over, depending on how many numbers you're putting here. But because I used 2 digits there, it kind of made everything a little bit, left me with not as much space over on the left-hand side. So next to the number 11 there, I'm going to put the TH. So it says 11th birthday, because in the end it's going to say happy 11th birthday. And just hold it down for a second, let it fill in. That worked out really well. Okay, so here's where I started looking at this other stamp and thinking, uh-oh, am I going to have enough room to put the word happy in there? And it's such a cute little banner. I had to absolutely use it. But if you got stuck in a place like this where you couldn't move your numbers or whatever, you could have always dropped that out, because just 11th birthday works too, right? But I did have just enough room if I moved one of those little ones over a touch. Seasoning it on my hand again. And it's going to be black ink, so it's going to be tight. But I wanted to move just the one over just slightly to fit that in. And also, I think I went a little bit off the page. Yeah, I went off into the red for the ribbons that are holding the banner. When it really is all supposed to fit on the white. So that's why it's a good idea for you to stamp that first. But it doesn't really matter. On mine, it looks awesome anyway. So just the ribbons that hold up the banner go onto the red cardstock. Hold it down. You want to do a good job on this, because this would be much harder to put on to cover up if you did make a mistake. So try to get that the first time. Okay, so there we go. They got that. And I think we're going to put on some little confetti pieces that are the acrylic. So I hope you didn't throw away any of those acrylic pieces thinking that they were like inserts. All right, so I started over here so I could just lay those out and you wouldn't have to sit there watching me try to find these little confetti pieces, but I did keep them in my bag. So you can see that they almost don't look like they're supposed to be actual things, but they are confetti. So I'm using, I guess I've got a pink and a blue at the top there, and then another little blue right there. That's the one I'm attaching. And then over on the left-hand side is a blue and a pink, but you can use whatever colors you've got left over here. I think there's some blacks in there if you wanted to use that. Pick up more of that black color from the happy and the TH. You could certainly do that. So I'm just adding in those little confetti pieces, and then I think we have just a few stickers to go. And there's a little pink sticker. It's a star. That's going to go to the left of that second photo there, and I was just kind of placing it around because I'd already stamped there too. And then I think we got a little blue star for the left-hand upper side. And then I think we'll be almost done here. And then on to page 2. Yep. I think, oh yeah, journaling strips, that's right. So I went ahead and cutting some journaling strips because I prefer the self-adhesive ones rather than just using the white cardstock there. So I think I don't know, let me see, I probably did about close to 4 inches long, but you can do any size you want because you're gonna do your journaling. And I a lot of times will write my journaling first on the strips and then cut them afterwards because sometimes I don't know what I'm gonna say. So I'm just gonna add those on. You'll see the journaling on this later, but I don't want to make you have to wait while we're watching this. So, and I put one, I started to center them, and then I just thought, you know, I'm going to kind of put one over to the right and then one a little bit to the left, just to add a little movement on the page, one of those design elements that you want to remember. Always want a little movement, make your eyes go somewhere. You don't want it to look stagnant. So, any of these little tricks like this, and the way that the photos are stacked there adds movement to the page. The banner draws your eye across. That's what you're looking for. And unlike the last layout or actual page, this one you can go ahead and put on the red cardstock because you're not going to be doing anything that's going to be close to the edge. We're going to do everything kind of in the center of this page. And that's why all of your decorating that you did is on the outside edge here. And looking amazing already. So on this part, you're going to want to grab all of your squares that you cut out, and we're going to put them on at 1 inch away from the side. So once you've done the first square, which is that banner one, all the rest are going to go in really easy. So it goes 1 inch from the bottom, 1 inch from the left-hand side, and then everything just will match up with that. So this page will go together quite quickly, especially if you've already put all your pop dots on your photos like I have. So here we go. What is taking me so long? Oh my goodness. Not that hard to measure, Barbara. And it is 1 inch all the way from the red cardstock, so from the very edge of the page. Just get that down nice and straight. Use your ruler. And then everything else just pops right on after that. So I really am enjoying this kit. And I will be doing another set of videos for the Close to My Heart workshop. So this one was one that was given to the makers and that we are allowed to share. And now I will be doing the Let's Party with the actual workshop that Close to My Heart designed for customers like you. So that'll come up next. And I think the colors look really good together. One of my friends didn't like them. I'm like, what? These are all bright, cheery colors. They look great. So put that down as your background. See how fast that was? So easy. Now it's time to put your photos. So if you're like me and you like to have them popped up, go ahead and get your pop dots on now. Hopefully you don't have all the teeny tiny ones to use. Because you can use our photo tape also works really well, you know, because it's still dimensional, and then you just cut it to size. I don't know why I bought so many pop dots, because I really do like the tape better. But, you know, don't want them to go to waste, so we're going to get those done. All right, so this big photo down at the bottom is going to be 1/2 inch from the bottom of those squares that you just put down. And then it's going to be 2 3/4 inch from the right-hand side. That includes that cardstock, the red cardstock. So all the way, 2 3/4 from the right-hand side of that page. And then just pop that up there. Try to get it straight. I never trust just my ruler. I'm always looking to see, you know, the edges. Are the edges matching up? How do they look next to those 4 squares that I just put down? Does that look straight there? You want to make sure you're checking many different areas. And speaking of that, on this part, I think this might be a little glitch in the directions, because it told me to go 7/8 inch up from the big photo, the 4x6 down at the bottom. But when I do that, that puts it very close to the top of that red and pink striped paper. And so it just wasn't working. So I just decided I would change the measurements. And so I'm putting it 5/8 inch up from the 4x6 photo instead. So that will kind of put it towards the center of the red and pink striped paper instead, and make it look like the picture in the instructions, because I think that was misrepresented there. And it must be hard to keep all those measurements together, never make a mistake on that. So I think that's what happened there. Now, it is 7/8 of an inch in from the side of the red and white or red and pink striped paper. So that was an accurate measurement. And then the other one on the other side was 7/8 of an inch in from the checked paper, and then 5/8 of an inch from the 4x6 photo. So now we're going to put a few stickers, I think. And I'm wondering if I forgot to put the little yellow heart on mine. I can't remember now. But there is a little blue star sticker, I believe, that goes over on the left-hand side. And I think I missed that yellow heart that's also on the left-hand side. So make sure you add that in. And then I'm adding the little starburst, the blue one and the black one. You're going to go in the middle there with some good glue. And then it's a white heart that's up towards the top of your sticker page there. And I put it over on, tried to stick it over near the red color so it would pop out a little bit more. And then down, I believe we're going to work on this little present. Now, this is the little pieces. When you get that bag of acrylic pieces, a lot of them look like they were, cutouts and stuff, and not necessarily the real things, but they actually are the real things. All that little confetti, and then these pieces that go inside of the present template type thing. So you've got the acrylic present outline, and then all the little pieces fit inside, which is really kind of cool. And they fit exactly, too, which was really neat. And then you've got a balloon here. And you're going to see, I did miss one little piece on the balloon. So once you put that balloon down, find a piece of the white confetti and put that at the upper part of the balloon to kind of look like a reflection on the side of it, a little bit of a highlight. And I think I did not do that, so good thing I'm catching it now. Use a good glue. Tape runner is not going to work on these acrylic pieces. They're too heavy for it. Here's a few of the confetti pieces you're going to put on the left and the right of the balloon on the background paper there. So, yeah, when I first saw those, I thought, oh, there's a lot of kind of, broken pieces in here. But nope, that's not what they were at all. It was all just confetti. So, on that balloon goes that little white piece. But let's work on the right-hand side now. And I think there is two, let's see, two stickers. I got All About You. And I'm going to put some pop dots on that, make those stick out just a little bit, because that's kind of sort of a subtitle for this page. And I like to sometimes put the pop dots down where I want it to be and not always right on the sticker. Some stickers, work better for that. It just, that kind of gets me a place to put it. And then you've got this other two-piece acrylic item, the hat. So the blue fits right inside of the black. So you just want to glue that all down. And again, I put the glue on the background instead of on the acrylic there. So it doesn't matter either way. Just sometimes it feels easier to do it that way. And then those little tiny pieces of a confetti. Two black ones, one on each side of the hat, and then a blue up towards the top of the hat. And they are kind of hard to get the glue on, so I believe I just put the glue on the paper. Again, you just kind of guess where it's going to work better. When they're tiny, it's easier to put it on the paper. And a little blue. And then I think we're almost done. I think we just have the yellow heart on the right-hand side. So one of the yellow hearts goes on the right-hand side and one goes on the left-hand side that I missed, I believe. So it took me a while to find this because I thought it was pink. Somehow it looked a little pink on my paper. So when I finally figured it out, that it was actually kind of a gold Sundance colored heart, then we had it. All right, there you go. Now I think we're done with this, and this is all the layouts for this kit. And we'll be working on cards. Those will be on a separate video. So thanks for joining me on this, and I hope you really enjoyed it.